Good morning, fourth grade. I need you to go ahead and get out your math notebook and a pencil. You can go ahead and pause this video until you have those materials. Okay, so the past few days we have been learning about how to classify triangles based off of their angles as well as their congruent side lengths. And today we are going to put those two skills together and classify them based off of both their angles and congruent side lengths. So our learning target today is I can use what I know about angles and congruent side lengths of triangles to classify them. I will practice classifying triangles by their side lengths and angles by matching images of a triangle to the proper name of the triangle. Just as a review, when we are classifying triangles by their angles, we are looking to see if they are obtuse, right, or acute triangles. So we need to look at the angles of each of the triangles to determine this. And as a reminder, in order for it to be an obtuse triangle, it only needs one obtuse angle. The other two will be acute, but as long as it has one obtuse, that classifies it as an obtuse triangle. An obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. A right triangle only needs one right angle in order to be classified as a right triangle. And again, a right angle is 90 degrees. So if it has one 90-degree angle, that classifies it as a right triangle. And an acute triangle is a little bit different from an obtuse and right in the way that it needs all three angles to be acute in order to be an acute triangle. Okay. When we are classifying triangles by their sides, we are looking to see if it is an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, or a scalene triangle. If it is equilateral, all three sides will be congruent. They will all be equal in length, and that will be shown with one tick mark on each side. An isosceles triangle, it will only have two sides that are congruent, so it will only have two sides with the same tick marks, and then the last side will have a different amount of tick marks because it is longer or shorter or whatever from the other two lengths that are equal. And that is an isosceles triangle. A scalene triangle will have all three different side lengths. They will all not be equal. There will not be any side lengths that are congruent, and that is a scalene triangle. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and use your notebook and your pencil, and I'm going to show you a triangle. I want you to draw the triangle along with the angle marks and the tick marks, and then you are going to write with me whether we're going to classify it by the angles and the side lengths. So go ahead and draw the triangle that I have shown here with your tick marks and the angle marks. You can pause this video until you have it drawn. Okay, so let's look at the angles first. I'm going to look to see, do I see a right angle? I do not see a right angle. Do I see an obtuse angle? I do see an obtuse angle. This one right here is greater than 90 degrees. And I know that if I have a triangle that has at least one obtuse angle, that makes it obtuse triangle. So we know that for the angle, it's going to be obtuse. Let's look at the sides. We have three different side lengths. So I want you to think to yourself, three different side lengths. Is that equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? It is scalene. So next to your triangle, I want you to write that it is an obtuse scalene triangle. And that is the name of that triangle, obtuse scalene triangle. Okay, this is our next one. Go ahead and draw this as well on your notebook in your notes section. Make sure that you label the angle as well as the different side lengths. So I'm going to look at the angles first. Is it a right, obtuse, or acute? I know that these two look like they're acute. They're definitely less than 90 degrees. But I can see that I have one that makes a square, and I know any angle that I can make a square out of is a right angle. So if I have one right angle, that is enough to classify it as a right triangle. And then if I'm looking at the sides, I have a side length of 3, a side length of 4, and a side length of 5. Are any of those numbers equal? No, they are not. And because all 3 side lengths are different, I know, just like the last one, it is a scalene triangle. So the name of this triangle is a right scalene triangle. Go ahead and write that next to your triangle. Okay, and your next triangle. Go ahead and draw this. Draw it with the tick marks and with the angles. Again, you can pause it until you have it drawn and then come back to the video. We are first going to look at the angles. Do I see any right angles? Nope, none of those make a square. Do I see any obtuse angles? Again, that's a no, because none of these angles are greater than 90 degrees. But I do know that all 3 of them, since I don't have any right or obtuse, that means all 3 are acute angles. So I can classify this triangle as an acute triangle. Now I'm going to look at the sides. I have 1 tick mark on each of the different sides. So that is telling me that all 3 sides are equal in length. If they are all equal in length, is the triangle equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? It is equilateral. Again, equilateral is very close to equal, so you know if they're all equal, it is an equilateral triangle. So if you put those 2 together, this is an acute equilateral triangle. You can write that right next to your own triangle. And our very last one, this one does not show you any of the angle marks or the tick marks, but you can kind of use your best judgment to say, what do I think the angles look like? If the angles, I don't think I see any obtuse angles. But do I see, and I see 2 acute angles. But that means this one, I think I could draw a square right here, which means that that is a right angle. So that's a right triangle. And then the side lengths, I'm going to try and see, I think this one looks a little shorter than the bottom. So I don't think that those 2 are equal. And then the third length is definitely longer than both of the other ones, which means they all 3 have different side lengths. So I think that's going to be a scalene. So it is a right scalene triangle. Okay, once you have all of those triangles drawn and identified, you may take a picture of your work and then submit that. I hope you're having a great day.